My name is Akio Sakido.
Hey guys, this is Anto Lecky.
My name is Leo Bliss.
My name is Akava. I go by the name Baba D.
And you're tuned into Rapid TV.
I love Rapid TV.
Shout out to Rapid TV. Thank you, Rapid TV. Please keep watching
Rapid TV.
This is Rapid TV.
Rapid TV.
Keep watching.
Keep it rev down.
Leave it like that.
The countdown to a massive weekend of sporting activity is on the way from Nigeria to Accra, Kumasi, as well as Cape Coast in Ghana to the international scene, where from the Middle East we'll be having a big blockbuster encounter in the world of boxing. Anthony Joshua up against Francis Ngannou, and other leagues around the world will see Nigerians in diaspora also strutting their stuff on the turf as they fight for every point on the table. A million thanks and a warm welcome for joining us on yet another interesting edition of Naija Sport Lounge right here on Rapid Television, channel 176 on Star Times. My name is Eval Edu and I'm your anchor. I'm not alone. I'm being joined by my very good colleague, Emmanuel's Okafor. Emmanuel, thank you for joining us on the show today.
Yeah, thank you, Eval. It's always a nice time to talk sports here.
All right, so it's a big weekend. We're counting down to a big weekend of sporting activity. So much to expect from the Nigerian Premier Football League to the camp of the Super Eagles of Nigeria, where the team is currently coachless. And the NFF have finally made public the vacancies available at the technical crew of the various national teams. All that in store for you today on Naija Sports Lounge. Time to go on that very quick short break. We'll be back with the rest of the show. Don't go away, stay with us.
To the players falling out of the tunnel. Once again, it is the final match of match day 23 round of fixtures in the Nigerian Premier Football League, and we are live from the Pantami Stadium. There's Gombe United taking on the Shooting Stars. The referee gets us underway at the free kick taken straight at the goalkeeper. He almost fumbled that one. The referee would try to calm things down now. Kemuche has gone down.
It's a funny situation now. The medics has been called upon to attend to Kemuche Oda, who appears to have been pushed right in his own face.
Of that one, do you think he made a meal of it?
It appears so, but delivery always a problem for me, for most teams in the NPFL. I think we, as a league, the coaches also need to do more.
Gombe United 2-1 situation, and the ball is in the back of the net. Kemuche beaten, and it is the home side, Gombe United, who's gotten the first goal of this fixture. They've been knocking on the door, they've been asking all the questions, and it is Yusuf Taye who's broken the deadlock here.
Brilliant control, eyeball to eyeball with the goalkeeper, and then try as much as possible to just dink it beyond him. That was
so far in this fixture. A chance now for Shooting Stars with Hadi Mohammed, and Hadi Mohammed has restored parity for Shooting Stars. Poor defending from Gombe United, and it is that man. He's had a decent performance so far, and he has restored parity for Shooting Stars. You could see the wild celebrations. We'll be waiting to see if the players he scored upon will be able to restore the lead for Gombe United. Substitute pretty much getting very much involved in the action. Abba Maigari. And the referee has called for the final whistle. Full time here at the Pantami Stadium. What a second 45 we just witnessed. Gombe United won.
Massive action over the weekend. Fantastic game played in Nigerian Premier Football League. March 23 encounter. Gombe United playing at a 1-0 draw against Shooting Stars of Ibadan. But let's start the show today with the big box office showdown in boxing. The heavyweight encounter between Anthony Joshua and Francis Ngannou taking place in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. A lot has been said about this particular fight, and both men did the traditional face-off as well as the weigh-in. Let's take a look at that face-off as well as the weigh-in that took place in anticipation of this very big fight.
AJ Anthony Joshua.
And for all of Francis Ngannou's cheer and fans, the Anthony Joshua support matches it every bit of the way, Matt.
Oh, without a doubt, they're really right behind us. I can't even, you've got an earpiece in, I've got no earpiece in, I can't hear myself talk. I don't even know what I'm saying, but I know I'm excited. Two massive men, two massive punchers. I think we're going to see something special.
From this face-off, because they've not done this together very much. Are you looking deep into the eyes, looking for any kind of flicker?
You're getting nothing from these. Both fighters are very confident, comfortable, and within who they are. Look at the size difference there. AJ may have about an inch size on him, but the rest of it, the trunk and the thickness of Ngannou is massive. But all he can do is do what he can do, and do his best. AJ says, you know, talent will rise, and you know, if we're not looking at that bit of luck, talent should be enough. And when you're talking that, you're looking at Anthony Joshua, his talent, his boxing ability, his boxing experience should be enough. The fact is Anthony Joshua should be able to get the job done with this man. He should be.
The Rocky Balboa theme tune rings out here in Riyadh. This is not a movie, although it could be. Anthony Joshua, the two-time heavyweight champion of the world, formerly an Olympic gold medalist, takes on the former UFC heavyweight king, Francis Ngannou, who's only ever had one professional.
252.4 pounds.
So 252.
World
so just a pound heavier than when he boxed Otto Wallin, where he boxed really well.
He's basically done exactly what he did the last time. So he's found a comfort spot. He's found a safe spot.
This fight has been dubbed Knockout Chaos. So it will be taking place in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, Friday the 8th day of March. And fight begins at 6 p.m. Undercards, the likes of Joseph Parker up against Zele Zhang. We also have Kevin Lerena also in the undercard. Then the big one, the main event of the day, will be Anthony Joshua. Anthony Oluwafemi Olaseni Joshua up against Francis Ngannou, who is also a Cameroonian. A lot has been said about this particular fight, the build-up to the fight. A lot of trash talking. We shouldn't even be discussing this in the first place, because this looks like a joke of a fight. When you have Francis Ngannou switching from the MMA to the heavyweight division. But based on what he did against Tyson Fury last year in December, many are beginning to look at him like a force, right, in the heavyweight division. And I don't know what your thoughts are about this particular fight, but it's a very, very big and interesting fight. As the fight gets closer, there's a bit of uncertainty on the part of the Anthony Joshua's camp, because a defeat for him tonight makes it look impossible for him to rekindle the career he was building up once again after the defeats to Andy Ruiz Jr. and Alexander Usyk. But a victory for him, a resounding one at that, will send him closer to that undisputed heavyweight title fight after whatsoever Tyson Fury has done with Alexander Usyk?
Well, the funny thing about this fight is that talking about Ngannou is actually fighting for pride, and he's actually also fighting for to get more grounds when it comes to boxing, because coming from the UFC, we are not supposed to be talking about this fight in the first place, because he is a newbie when you talk about the boxing world. When you get to the UFC, he is a lord, but when you come to the boxing, he is an amateur when you talk about that. But his first fight was against Tyson Fury, and that fight against Tyson Fury gave him all the mind for him to say, I can also do this against AJ. And in this fight, he has nothing to lose, but he only has something to gain. He gains the money, he gains the fame, he gains the opportunity to fight more big fights. But for AJ, it's he has everything to lose if he loses this fight against Ngannou. Well, he will be losing his pride, because he will definitely be losing all that he has built over the years, fighting someone who, this is actually going to be the second fight for Ngannou when it comes to boxing. But for AJ, losing this fight, he will be losing a lot of things. So I believe AJ will be fighting against Ngannou with every form of seriousness. He'll be fighting as if he's fighting against boxing greats like the Muhammad Ali's of this world, the Alexander Usyk, and the Tyson Furies. So he shouldn't see Ngannou as one of those amateurs coming into the game. He should do that with every form of seriousness.
All right, we can recall that in December, when we had Francis Ngannou up against Tyson Fury, he placed the WBC title holder on his canvas, right? He knocked him down. There was a knockdown in that particular bout, and it was in favor of Francis Ngannou. A lot were even saying that fight was controversially called by the judges in terms of the judges' scorecard. They believe that Francis Ngannou did win that fight, but at the end of the day, the points went to Tyson Fury, and he was declared winner. So that's why many are beginning to look at it from the angle of, if Ngannou should get a clean shot, there's so much power in that right hand. I saw him hit a punching bag, and the power generated behind that particular punch was massive. But just taking a look at the weigh-in now, Anthony Joshua came in 252 pounds, and that is a pound heavier than he was when he took on Otto Wallin in December. Yeah. But for Francis Ngannou, he came in 20 pounds heavier than Anthony Joshua. So that's about 274 pounds or thereabouts. So Ngannou coming in heavier, AJ coming in lighter. Are you seeing anything you can devise from this particular weigh-in?
Well, talking about the weigh-in, I also do not forget that Ngannou came in 2 pounds heavier than he came in against Tyson Fury, and Tyson Fury is heavier than AJ. And Ngannou has said earlier that Tyson Fury, AJ will not be able to take what Tyson Fury took from him, because the punches and all the blows that he was giving and sending down to Tyson Fury, at some points Tyson Fury, I think let me come back to the controversial call. I think if not for the call, Tyson Fury wouldn't have won that, because if you go back to see that fight, you know that Ngannou actually gave Tyson Fury a good run for his money. And coming into this fight, 2 pounds heavier than he came against Tyson Fury. That means AJ should be more careful, because he's coming into this fight lighter than he was against Otto Wallin. So Ngannou, for me, has every opportunity to beat AJ in this particular fight.
All right, it's mixed, right? If you're following the science and the maths of heavyweight boxing, you know that sometimes heavier or lighter could be for or against a particular boxer. If you're coming in heavier, it simply means that you will need more oxygen in your muscles, and so you get tired out easily or gas out easily. But if you're coming in heavier as well, it could also mean that you can take a lot of punches without feeling the pain. If you're coming in lighter, it simply means that you can't take as much punches, but you'll be very fast, swift to dance around the ring. So it's mixed, right? It could turn out to be the Achilles heel of Francis Ngannou in this particular fight, that he is so heavy and so will get tired out easily by a much more professional boxer in all the sense of training, years of expertise and experience, and also technicality. So is AJ going to weigh him down with his jabs and the movement and finally get a win? Well, that fight comes up later in the day, precisely 11 p.m. Friday, March the 8th. Fingers crossed. Let's see how Anthony Oluwafemi Olaseni Joshua, the Nigerian-born British boxer, performs against Francis Ngannou. And don't forget, just a pointer, Tyson Fury has also reiterated that he's heard in some quarters of the media that the winner of Francis Ngannou versus Anthony Joshua could be a potential partner for an undisputed title showdown after his doubleheader against Alexander Usyk. So there's so much on the line in this particular fight for Anthony Joshua and Francis Ngannou, a chance to take on either of Fury or Usyk after that doubleheader for the unification bout in the heavyweight division. So it's interesting times, and we only say let the best man win. But let's turn our attention down to the All-African Games, where it's all about Ghana 2024, or the African Games, the 13th edition of the competition. And 54 countries will be well represented in 29 sports. And all I can say from all I've seen so far is that Ghana is ready.
It's time for the drums to beat. It's time for the horns to blare. It's time for the whistles to blow. It's time for the fans to cheer. It's time for the men to slug it out and for the women to face off and records to be broken. It's time for winners to emerge. It's time for the big names to reaffirm their status and for new stars to be born. Aquaba. It's time for Accra 2023, the 13th African Games, with our host cities in Accra, Cape Coast and Elmina. 29 disciplines, 54 countries, 13,000 participants. It's time to crown the champions. From 3rd March to 23rd March 2024, Accra will welcome the world to its center. Accra 2023. Experience the African dream. The 13th African Games, Accra 2023, is brought to you by
The event is underway already, and the table tennis event had begun since the 3rd day of March, and countries are presently in for the opening ceremony later today. And for Team Nigeria, we had a contingent of 358 athletes who will be taking part in 25 out of the 29 sports on the offer at the African Games. And during the course of the week, the Minister of Sport, Honorable Senator John Owaneno, did meet, speak, and also psych up the morale of the athletes as they jetted out to the West African country of Ghana.
It's a celebration, jump for joy, rejoice the bro, hoist the flag of Africa, sing for joy, Mama Africa, sing anthems of Africa, with one voice Africa, united Africa, Karibu, bienvenue, Akaba, Wawatu.
Everyone, it was like this moment wasn't going to come. I mean, I've been in the airport since about 6 p.m. And thank God that we are where we are, at this point. And I just have to say hello to the pilot and to thank him for being available to fly our athletes to Accra, Ghana. And I told him that this was a privilege to fly our very valued, athletes that the country holds a very high esteem. I'm doing something a bit unusual. I thought I'd have been able to do this on the ground. But because this flight has had to come from Lagos and athletes that flew from Lagos, I couldn't disembark. It was important to wait until this moment. In the course of the campaign, I didn't have a chance to travel to Lagos. I know I still about 2 or so camps in Abuja. I didn't go to, Bayelsa, where our wrestlers have done their camp. So for me, this is one unique opportunity to just say hello and to thank everyone, for this moment. You may be, for most of you, this may not be the first time you're going to represent Nigeria. For some of you, it is the first. But whether it is the first or not the first, every moment is unique in itself. And I think I need every one of you to be very proud of yourselves. In a country of more than 220 million people, you have the right privilege to represent a country of such number. and I need to encourage you. I mean, looking at the performance of our athletes in the previous African Games, there is no reason why our country should come top of the medals table in Accra 2024. So for me, I mean, you go to make yourself proud and to make the country proud. Nigeria's current president, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has come in with quite a lot that is offering already. Quite a lot is happening in the sports sector. And I need that, just like the senior national team went to Abidjan and came home with, they were second place after how many years. I like that the contingent of our athletes that is on this flight and that is going to fly our nation's colors in Accra gets challenged by this feat and ensures that for every game, for every competition, know that the country is clapping, the country is standing by you. Know that as you embark on this trip and as you go for this tournament, the entire country is waiting in anticipation and very hopeful that for the first time again, Nigeria can come top of the medals table at the end of the 2 weeks of competition. I'm going to be personally in Accra for some of the matches and some of the sports and the competition. But for me and for
the Sport Minister, Senator John Owaneno, speaking there to the athletes just before they jetted out of Nigeria, psyching them up to put in their best and perform better and represent the green and white of this nation. And over 200 million people waiting at home for very great results. And the competition has begun already. Table tennis, in terms of the medal table, it's early days though, but the Egyptians are already projecting themselves as potential winners like it was in 2019 in Rabat, Morocco. The Egyptians have 4 medals to their credit, 2 gold, 1 silver and 1 bronze, and those medals have come in from table tennis. For Nigeria, just 2 medals have been won so far, a silver medal and a bronze medal. A silver medal in table tennis and a bronze medal still in table tennis. Of young Edem, had to battle out with Gina Meshref, lost in the semi-finals to Gina Meshref, and Gina went all the way to the finals, but also was beaten by a fellow Egyptian in Hannah Goda with just 16 years of age. For Haruna Quadri, recall, we did speak about his inability to get that coveted African Games singles title. And he was beaten again in the finals by Omar Assad this time around, 4-3, that one ending in favor of an Egyptian. So in terms of table tennis, it was one of the medal hopefuls we had. We talk about table tennis, weightlifting, wrestling, but they've not delivered the shade or grade of medal we want, but at least they've given us a medal in silver and bronze. Of young Adam winning the first medal, and for Haruna Quadri getting silver. I think he will be feeling really down. I don't want to just be in his head right now because there was so much pressure on him to deliver Nigeria a gold. And himself, an African Games gold, having had 4 trials in the past.
Well, I can feel how disappointed Haruna is not getting that gold medal that he has so much loved and he has so much desire to get. I know coming into this particular tournament, he was wishing that he would be able to actually get that tournament in this particular event. But unfortunately for him, he was beaten by Omar Assar, and he didn't get it. He just got a silver medal, possibly something he's used to, but he wanted something better. But unfortunately, he didn't get it. And talking about of young Edem, she actually got the first medal for Nigeria, and so far so good for the Nigerians. I think we're second on the medal table, and the Egyptians running away with the medal already, because in 2019 they were also leading the pack when Nigeria was also chasing them to ensure and see if we could overtake them and climb the medal table. But unfortunately, it didn't happen in 2019, and they've started same way they did in 2019 again in this Accra 2023. And let's just see what happens as we go ahead in this particular tournament. I believe when we get to wrestling, when we get to weightlifting,
athletics in general,
when we get into those ones, I believe that the gold medals will come, and I also believe that possibly we can climb the medal table and overtake Egypt.
All right, it was Offiong Adem to the rescue, putting Nigeria on the medal table. It's still early days. Only 5 countries have since reflected in the medal table. But let's take a look at her after her performance against Gina Meshref, where she got a bronze medal for Team Nigeria. Nigeria's first at the All-African Games, or the African Games in Ghana.
Won a medal in this game. It's been tough, and I really put in my best. And I had this opportunity to play well because we were in World Championship, and this helped a lot. And I want to thank the Nigerian Federation for making that possible to go to World Championship, because that served like a training tour, and that is the reason why I did very well here.
You played against an Egyptian that when you check the ITFF African ranking, you realize that the Egyptians are all top ranked. And so being part of this particular game, mentally, how are you dealing with making sure that you'll be able to medal?
The Egyptian, the reason why they are at the top, they play a lot of tournaments. We don't have that opportunity, but nevertheless, I am always very calm whenever I'm in a tournament. I don't feel stressed for anything. I just try to do my best, and I try to make sure I put in my best. And always about the Egyptian, they are very good. Like Dina, she's a world-class player, and she had this opportunity to play everywhere. I enjoy playing with her. She's very strong, but I did my best.
Well, she actually gave her best, and her best wasn't good enough on the day to power past Egypt's most highly ranked female player in table tennis, Dina Meshref. And Dina Meshref, on her own part, lost to her fellow Egyptian, 16-year-old Hannah Gouda, in the finals of the women's singles. And it's going to be a massive one later in the day. It's a double header between Nigeria and Egypt in the finals of the team event. In the men and women's play, Nigeria is taking on Egypt in the finals of the team event. So Ofyongedem will lead the women, and that simply means it's Ofyongedem alongside her fellow Nigerian table tennis star up against Dina Meshref and possibly Hannah Gouda. And then in the men's play, it will be Aruna Kodri, Omotayo Olajide leading the men's charge as well to get the better of the likes of Omar Assar will be leading Egypt's men. So it's a double header. It's a time to have a sweet revenge on the Egyptians. But looking at the quality of what we are seeing there, Hannah Gouda, the 16-year-old beating Dina Meshref, you look at that and say Nigeria may be no match against the Egyptian. But it would be nice to see Nigeria upset the apple cart. These are two highly ranked African teams in terms of table tennis. Is Egypt first, Nigeria second, or Nigeria first, Egypt second? So it's a highly anticipated game later today.
Well, a very beautiful moment for the Nigerians to actually have their sweet revenge in this particular double header. And when you look at Aruna Kodri, he will be so disappointed not getting that gold medal in the singles event. Now he will want to get it right here at the team's event, because I feel he's also a very good player when it comes to team events, talking about the table tennis. So Aruna Kodri will definitely be psyching up his partner and tell him, come on, we can do this, we can get this gold medal. We didn't get it here, so we can get it here. And I'm talking about Ofyongedem, who will be playing against the 16-year-olds Gordon and Dina. So it's going to be a very tough one. But you know, when you're playing as a single player, it's actually so different when you're playing as a team. So I just hope that Dina and Gordon will not be able to collaborate so well, talking from a Nigerian sense.
Wishful thinking, though. All right, so the Egyptians will be in action against Nigeria. At least we have a medal in the bag as well. But what grade or shade of the medal it is, we'll know after the final in the team event, Nigeria versus Egypt in both the men and the women's play. But before we leave the African Games, we had the football event also on the way. The under-20 national side of Nigeria, the Flying Eagles, lost their opening game to Uganda. And in the same group, Senegal, one of the best teams in African football in almost every age grade of competition these days, defeated South Sudan by 1 goal to 0. Let's quickly take a look at the highlights of that game. When we return, we'll talk more on football. Don't go away. Stay with us.
Conveys Abdul Razak Ahmed of Libya, the center referee for the game. Good play. The Hippos. Oh, lovely run there on the flanks. Beautiful play from Sadiq. Isiaka. Sadiq goes around his man. Squares one. It's looking for the first goal. 2 men in the 18-yard box. Some way, somehow, and the part to run here. Should have actually given the play. As the Flying Eagles get the first chance here. Squared beautifully. It's wide. And the Hippos quietly get themselves away from any danger reward here. Looking for space up front. The gas. And here comes the Hippos. They have the first chance here. Oh, and they have it! The Hippos have surprised the Flying Eagles. Kiza Usama with the first goal there from Uganda. Hippos to charge here, and what a ball there from the UK-based player Oriwo. And look at it, palm, and that's it. No chance there for Friday to deal with it. Absolutely no chance. And then they came. Well, the equalizer has come from Nigeria. They have to well, the equalizer has come from Nigeria with all the pressure. It turns out. Well, the set piece was taking. Isiaka just headed it down. Beautiful goal there from Nigeria. 4 marking in the 18-yard box. Chance for Chichone. Well, that's very close for the second set, but they haven't been that close enough. Julian Bruno, last at a time. And Nigeria back. The Hippos will hit this one. Of Uganda. What a strike!
It's a beautiful goal scored by player number 8 of Uganda, Ivan Lambabazi.
Well, just talk about the team. Final 10 minutes or so to go. And just have to be very patient in the build-up. Ivan hit this one outside the 18-yard box. And simply, they would be excited. They would be absolutely excited.
A well-taken goal there by the Hippos, Danger Man. Good strike, and nothing much the keeper could do as that one nestled into the back of the net. And Emmanuel's not a good start for the Flying Eagles of Nigeria. At least we expected something much more. At least if they could have shared the spoils with the Ugandans, would have been a good result, heading into the remainder of the games in the group phase where they have still to play South Sudan, Senegal, and Tunisia as well. A lot of pressure on Coach Ladan Bosso, to deliver with these boys, but it's all hope lost, or it's just early days. We should allow this team to get back into the groove of the tournament.
Well, I would say this is just early days in the competition, and they still have 3 more matches to play in the group. In as much as I believe that every Nigerian will be disappointed that the Flying Eagles were unable to get the 3 points over the Ugandans, but here we are. The deed has already been done. We already trust Ladan Bosso. We know what he can offer when it comes to age-grade football, and he has done it over the years, and this is another time for him to prove to the whole Nigerians that he is the right man for the job. So I believe in their game against South Sudan, Senegal, and Tunisia, they will be able to actually get those points, because if they leave or exit this competition at the group stages, it simply means that that lack of preparation that we've been clamoring, that we've been crying about, is still affecting this team. But these young lads, I believe that it is time for them to make a name for themselves. And I also believe that Coach Ladan Bosso will also and always lead this team to victory.
All right. So close, yet so far. 2019, losing finalists to Burkina Faso, beaten by 2 goals to nothing right there in Rabat. The last time Nigeria got a gold medal at the African Games was in 1973. So can these particular set of players banish the demons and go all the way? Well, it's a loss in the first game. Let's hope for them to bounce back. Time for us to go for a short break. We'll be back to talk about the MPFL. It's match day 24 on the horizon this weekend. Welcome back. This is Naija Sport Lounge on Rapid Television, showing on channel 176 on Star Times. And we're still talking about everything Nigerian sports on the show this hour. And later in the day, we'll have Super Falcons also engage in the first game of the women's football event of the African Games. They take on Morocco at 8 p.m. Friday, the 8th of March. But let's look at the Nigerian Premier Football League. We had a very interesting match, day 23, where some surprising results. 2 away victories. Enugu Rangers were 2-0 winners over Niger Tornadoes, and Abawarati beat Kano Pillars by 1-0. But the biggest fixture in that round of matches was Akwa United up against Eyimba International. It ended 3-1 in favor of the Promise Keepers. Let's take a look at that highlight once again. Some magnificent goal from the man of the moment, the rave of the moment on Nigerian football, Sani Suleiman. He's now scored 3 goals in his last 2 matches since signing for Akwa United in the January transfer market. Skills, techniques, finishing. Sani Suleiman doing it once again for the Promise Keepers. 3 goals in 2 matches, and it was a brace against Eyimba International. Akwa United this weekend will be up against Shooting Stars in Ibadan. Well, we saw some magnificent game and some major talking points, and one of such was seeing Doma United players cry after their goalless draw against Sporting Lagos. And to say the least, if you look at the table, they are quite, in a comfortable position, given the fact that they are a privately owned team and they are new to the MPFL. At some point, they were topping the league, but right now they are, I think, around 6th or 7th on the log. But I wonder why their players were crying. Possibly we have to take a look at that.
In despair, they would feel that this is an opportunity gone by. They had Sporting Lagos at their clutches. They had the man advantage. And it is full time here at the Pantame Stadium. Doma United couldn't break the defense of this Sporting Lagos side. Coach Akinade Olibinde looking dejected. You could see the players of Doma United in despair. They would feel that this is an opportunity gone by. They had Sporting Lagos at their clutches. They had the man advantage in the final minutes of this fixture.
Well, a change in fortune there for Doma United. Before last weekend's game, they were unbeaten in about 20 matches at the Pantami Stadium in Gombe. Don't forget, it was Enugu Rangers who came there and got a 1-0 victory. And just last weekend, we had Sporting Lagos playing out a goalless draw against Doma United. Possibly we'll take a look at the table right now and see where Doma United is ranked 9th in the NPFL. They've dropped a few places since the second half of the season. 33 points from 23 matches played. But Emmanuel, do you have any idea why the players were in tears? Because Sporting Lagos, who got a point, are in 12th position with 28 points. I don't feel they should be crying, you know, after a goalless draw. It's not a do or die affair. This was not actually an NPFL final, or he decided to qualify for the continental places or possibly relegation battle. But such is the passion that these Doma United players play with every match day.
No, you know, there's a saying that when you see a man crying, he has lost something very valuable. So we really do not know why they were crying, but I feel that there's something that they are yet to tell us. Because for me, to see all those men crying after a game that I would say it wasn't the last game of the season, they are not being relegated, they didn't lose out on the continental spot, and they are all crying. So I felt as a privately owned team, maybe they were promised something for that game, but unfortunately they lost out on that. So everyone cried. So, maybe as the day goes by, we'll find out why they were actually crying. But I feel that the passion was so much, and they needed that point so much. They needed it so well to be able to climb the ladder. But unfortunately, they actually dropped another point at home.
And this weekend, there will be visitors to Eyimba International right there at the Elephant Park in Aba. That's a tough game for Doma United. Doma themselves they were good travelers in the first half of the season, but changing fortunes, maybe more like every other team looking for how to secure their points at home and pick the available points away from home. It's a difficult game for Doma United. Coach Akinade Onigbinde was got some good ref review during the start of the season. Hasn't really had much of the headlines these days. It's a tough game for them. I don't see them picking points against Eyimba in Aba.
Yeah, unfortunately, they are coming to the Elephant Park where Eyimba in the second half of the season have picked a very dangerous form that they go away, they pick up points, and they come back to their home, they secure all 3 points. So Doma United, I do not see them getting points right there in Aba when they visit the Elephant Park. I see Eyimba picking up all the 3 points because Eyimba are actually in contention for the league title in as much as they are currently 5th on the log. So I don't know that continuous wins, especially picking up 3 points at home, will actually help them to win the league back to back.
And Eyimba will be looking for some help from their sister club in Abia Warriors. They take on Lobby Stars, who are current table toppers at the moment. So Abia Warriors haven't picked up all 3 points on the offer against Kano Pillars at the Sani Abacha Stadium in Kano. We will now have to contend with the league toppers, Lobby Stars. A victory for Abia Warriors simply means that Eyimba gets a victory against Doma United. They can go as far as back to the top of the log or possibly a point or two away from topping the league as it stands. So it's a seesaw right there in the NPFL. But Abia Warriors have got to do Eyimba some favor. They've returned to the Umaya Township Stadium, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, we had a memo by the NPFL that Abia Warriors will be making a return to the Umaya Township Stadium, and you're not comfortable with that ground as well. You have always voiced out your displeasure about the quality of the turf, and even me too. I think it's not for the aesthetics, right? For the game to be on television, for the game to be beamed live, for people to really rate the NPFL for what it is. You know, the Umaya Township Stadium shouldn't be failing integrity test. After 2 or 3 matches, they are back to the turf again. So, I don't know, but can Abia Warriors do Eyimba a favor this weekend? They take on Lobby Stars, table toppers, possibly going back to that turf gives them an advantage.
Well, Abia Warriors have actually dropped only 2 points at home this season. That was the 1-1 draw they played sometime last year.
I think it's Rivers United, if I'm not mistaken.
That was in Adomaya Township Stadium. So I can't really pinpoint the particular team, but that was the only points they've actually dropped at home. They've been doing so well at home. So if they have returned to the Umuahia Township Stadium as their home, I believe they'll be picking up the 3 points against Lobby Stars, because I know what
they love that turf so
they love the turf so much. Maybe because they don't love playing on a good turf, on a lighter note anyways, but whenever they are playing on that turf, they have this confidence that this is our home, this is where we love to play, and this is where we love to get our 3 points. So Lobby Stars visiting the Umuahia Township Stadium might be losing the 3 points to Abia Warriors, and that will be a very good favor to Enyimba International. So I believe the 2 Abia teams playing at home should be able to get the 3 points for themselves.
And when it comes to the Abia Warriors setup itself, they are not also far from controversy. We can recall that just a few days or weeks ago, we had Coach Erasmus Onu told to step aside.
Yeah.
And Coach Bertologi has been in charge of the team for the last 2 matches, and having orchestrated that big win against Kano Pillars, will really be eyeing an important victory here against Lobby Stars to consolidate his place as head coach of the team. But I don't think Erasmus Onu did badly to have been told to step aside compared to what we are seeing happening in other teams. But I don't know if he really deserves to step aside, because I feel, yeah, their results were not consistent. A win today, a loss tomorrow, a draw here, and a win the other way. But not bad enough, to be told to step aside, given how stable the club is at the moment.
Yeah, I felt disappointed that the management of Abia Warriors asked Erasmus Onu to step aside, owing to the fact that he has done relatively well this season, especially at home. He has been able, we know the win at home syndrome in our league. He has actually been able to pick up points away from home too. But unfortunately, he was asked to step aside when his colleague right there in Owerri have not been asked to step aside. I don't know what's happening, but Coach Bertologi, who has actually been there in his stead, have actually done so well. 2 matches, 6 points. He has been doing so well. So let's hope that Coach Bertologi, handling the team on Sunday, will also give Abia Warriors the 3 points, and that will be 9 out of possible 9, getting the whole 9 points. So Coach Bertologi, I believe he learned so well from Erasmus Onu. Take it or leave it, he was under Erasmus Onu, and he has been learning from him. So Abia Warriors under Bertologi doing so well recently.
And there's no respite at the moment for Heartland Football Club of Owerri. This weekend they go all the way to Katsina to play Katsina United. Under Coach Christian Obi, the records are so bad, not good for the eyes. About 15 matches played
15
so
matches,
far,
no win.
yet to register a win for Heartland as the manager of the team, home or away. About 9 draws and 6 defeats, and not a good result at all. They had last weekend a 1-0 draw against Sunshine Stars of Akure. It was a game that that had so much consequence, because we had Coach Kennedy Boboye returning to his old stomping ground. He came to that team at some point when Christian Obi was told to step aside, and played out 7 games. He had 3 victories, and those are the only 3 wins that Heartland has gotten all season long, right? So in that game, Sunshine Stars took a 1-minute lead as early as 60 seconds. They were already ahead before Heartland fought their way back, to get an equalizer and draw 1-1. The players are on half salary to make matters worse, more like rubbing salt to wound. Going to Katsina, I don't see the possibility of Heartland picking a point here in Katsina.
Well, picking up a point in Katsina is just like, I don't know how to describe it. It's a task that cannot be achieved, because if you have not been able to pick up 3 points at your own backyard, so how can you pick up 3 points far away with Katsina? I really do not know why the government of Imo State still wants Christian Obi to remain there as the coach. You've played 15 matches, no wins. You only have draws.
You were told to step aside. You were told to step aside.
You stepped aside for 7 matches,
and the result turned around.
Someone came in with the same players, was able to win 3 games, 1 draw, and lost 3. And that is the person getting 10 points out of 7 games. And you have played 15 games. You don't have 1 win even at your home. Even in the MPFL, where we complain about the win at home syndrome playing out every week in, week out. But unfortunately, Christian Obi have not been able to do that. Going far away, Katsina is another loss for them. And making matters worse, just like you said, all the players, their salaries have been halved. And I keep asking the question, why is it that the coaching crew they don't have their salaries slashed as well? why the players, decent players that gave Kennedy Boboye the 3 wins are the same players that Christian Obi is using. Why slash their salary and leave that of the coach?
Possibly the management were very angry after the team lost, I think, 5-1 at the Oka Stadium, Oka Township Stadium to Plateau United. Promise Umachuku is the GM of that club, got angry, and the statement was released that the players will now have their salary slashed by 50%, a massive one. But there's a big game this weekend in the MPFL, March Day 24. The Razzmatazz, the Swagger, the Banter, is the Tech Boys up against the Betting Guru. Let's take a look at this trailer, the build-up to the Southwest Derby. Sporting Lagos up against Remo Stars.
Every game is important, but this one, we die here.
Sporting Lagos take on Remo Stars.
I literally come for sporting games every Sunday. No way I'm missing this.
A first defeat in the Nigerian Premier Football League for Sporting Lagos, but they look to bounce back.
The game that has brought out fans from all the parts of Lagos and beyond. The manager furious.
I was at the away game at Vermont Stadium. I'll definitely be at this game.
What a sporting moment for the city of Lagos. Aliyu Salawuddin opens the door of box in the 55th minute. If this is a dream, don't wake me up. And trapped in all of this, Southwest pride. Happy Lagos! Happy Lagos!
It says it all. The banter on social media, the Tech Boys, their first defeat in the MPFL since they came into the top flight of Nigerian football was handed to them by their Southwest neighbors, Remo Stars in Ikenne. That one ending 2-1 in favor of Remo Stars. Jonathan Aluko scoring the first goal of the game. Then Remo Stars came from behind to win that game with the likes of Adams Olemi Lokon, who seemed to be in good form, scoring as well to give Remo Stars the win. It's a very big game. Sporting Lagos had been in very bad form, rejigged a bit more in the transfer market, brought in some excellent players. One of them is Adekunle Adeleye, the central defender who used to play for Rivers United and then went to Eyimba and so on. He's also part of the team. A few good players have come into this Sporting Lagos team. Last weekend, they were the team that held Doma United to a goalless draw, and we saw tears rolling in that game. This is a massive fixture, if for nothing's sake, for the sake of the bragging rights. You know, the Tech Boys and the betting gurus have always been at war, daggers drawn when it comes to the bragging rights on social media. And I don't know who will be taking full points and credit for the banter this weekend, but this is a very important fixture. Coach Daniel Ogumudede alongside Paul Ofo, it's a big matchup. Ogumudede is still in the title race. He's got to win this game.
Yeah, he's got to win this game because currently Remo Stars are 4th on the log and they want to climb more. And talking about Sporting Lagos, who are actually 12th on the log as well. This is a derby, and wherever we've seen derbies always give us the intrigues, the excitement. It gives us every package that we actually desire to see in a derby, and I don't see this one being different. If you saw the first game between the two sides, that's sometime last year, you see that it is a very big game. Going all the way to Ikenne to pick up the first goal, they were actually leading in that game before Remo had to come from behind to win that one. And it's a very tough game. All I expect in this particular match is a very interesting game. I want to see the beautiful game of football. I want to watch. In fact, I want to see an upset. I want to see Paul Ofo make Daniel Ogumudede. I want to see him make Ogumudede cry because last week he made the Doma boys cry. So maybe this week he might be making Remo Stars cry.
Well, don't be surprised. Sporting Lagos scored first and hit the seal in Ikenne. Then when the results turned around for Coach Daniel Ogumudede, trust him and the swagger. You know, he also hit a seal to reply that. Well, to round off the match, the 24 encounters, we'll have Kano Pillars being visitors to Rivers United at the Adokie Emesemaka Stadium in Port Harcourt. Time to go for another very short break. When we return, we'll talk about the Super Eagles because there's a vacancy in terms of the coaching role.
Ekong. Up against Fofana, slams it in the back of the net, and Nigeria have the lead.
William Trostikong. Straight down the middle and Nigeria lead. Stella Sublime soaring Super Eagles. Is this the seminal moment in the game?
Mola Lukman to take it. Curls it towards the near post. Flick on from Chukwueze. Trostikong, goal! Goal Nigeria! Trostikong's third of the tournament. Strong header from a corner, and the Super Eagles are in the lead.
Captain, leader, player of the tournament, William Trostikong, had a very fantastic Nations Cup outing at the just concluded African Cup of Nations in Cote d'Ivoire. And he's currently in the treatment room as he's out injured for his side, PAOK Thessalonica of Greece. But let's talk about the Super Eagles right now, because just a few days ago, the contract of coach Jose Peseiro ran out. And so he was not offered an extension, or maybe there was no agreement between the NFF, the Sport Ministry, and the Portuguese coach, who has since penned down an emotional farewell to Nigerians as he talked about how well he enjoyed his stay with the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Just a few hours ago, in the early hours of today, by the way, the NFF have now put up a job advert, a vacancy. So there's a vacancy for the senior men's national team, Super Eagles, and there's an opening for the under-17 boys. Formerly, we had Nduka Ogbade right there in the under-17 position. So it is now open. Maybe, Emmanuel, it's time for you to dust off your CV and send it over to the headquarters of the Glass House in Abuja and apply for this job.
Yeah, I will definitely be applying to coach the Super Eagles and not the under-17, because I want to coach the big boys.
All right. The Jose Peseiro contract came to an end, but what's your take on it? It's like in splitted opinions, because many thought it is time to give this guy, another contract, but many think the best idea was to let him go.
Unfortunately, I think that was the worst decision that the NFF took, because this is a guy that took us from sixth on the log when it comes to ranking, and he took us straight down in Africa, and he took us straight down to third in Africa, and he took us to the finals that we've not played since 2013, the last time we won it, and he took us straight to finals in this particular tournament. That means there is a lot in the offing from Jose Peseiro, but unfortunately just 2 years reign and it ended just like that. But I wish Jose Peseiro well, and I wish the Super Eagles well. I wish the NFF gets someone that is capable of taking the Super Eagles to the next level.
There's this argument about should we go for an indigenous coach? I don't want to use the word local because it makes it sound derogatory. Or we should go for a foreign tactician like we've done over the years. Opinions are also split on that. But let's take a listen to Gbenga Elegbeleye, who is currently the boss of the MPFL. I think he's more tilted to an indigenous coach this time around.
More than local coaches.
It's not that we don't have good coaches in Nigeria. We have we mentioned Keshi now, the one for us. I remember Samson CSI winning and winning medals in the age group tournament on our 20, the Olympic on our 23, and again we have other good coaches at the local level. I think by and large, at a particular time, our homegrown coaches again need to like right location, go for further training and enlarge their coast in terms of knowledge. And again, when they come back, they can take over the national team. I sincerely believe that we have good coaches, and I do not believe that it is our coach that take the boys this far. It is those boys and the spirit of Nigerian in them.
All right, so Gbenga Elegbeleye is believing that the indigenous coaches can actually do this job, but where do you stand? The advert is out there, a vacancy for the senior men's national side and the under-17. What would you love to see? A foreign tactician or an indigenous coach. We have Finidi George, who is assistant of the coach at the moment. They've also debunked the story that what's his name again? Augustine Guavon has taken over the team on interim basis. They've debunked that. The NFF has said it is not true. And so we have Amunike, we have a few Ndubisi Egbo, who used to be with a side in Europe, played in the Europa competition a few seasons ago.
Yeah.
So a few other names around the MPFL and the Nigerian scene. What would you love to see? An indigenous coach or a foreign coach?
Well, I'll go for an indigenous coach, and I will want to go for Emmanuel Amunike because most of the boys in the Super Eagles right now are his boys. Talking about the Victor Osimhen, Kelechi Iheanacho, and also Wilfred Ndidi, they were his boys. So I feel him getting back into the team, coaching some of his boys, he already knows what to do. He took Tanzania to the Nations Cup, I think for the first time. So he actually understands the African terrain. If I go for an indigenous coach, I'll definitely go for Emmanuel Amunike.
All right, so it's an if and maybe, but hey, the applications should now be sent or forwarded to the Glass House at the NFF Secretariat in Abuja. But just before we sign out, Emmanuel, let me take your prediction. Let me put your neck on the chopping board. Anthony Joshua versus Francis Ngannou later tonight. Who do you go for?
I'll go for AJ.
Okay, so we'll be here on Monday definitely to talk about this particular one. It's going for Anthony Joshua. It's a big box office showdown as long as the heavyweight division is concerned. It's called Knockout Chaos right there in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. And that's the size of the package in today's edition of Naija Sport Lounge. Many thanks to my colleague Emmanuel Okafor for his time on the show. Many thanks to you as well for being our companion. Until we come your way again on Naija Sport Lounge, do have yourself a lovely, lovely day ahead. Stay blessed. Bye-bye.